So we don't do the serrations on the side because we got rid of the forward assist on our uppers, so there's no reason for that. Bolts are pretty simple, but some people still don't know how to really take them apart. It's good to take them apart and clean them every so often too. The charge handle goes in first. There's a little radius that goes inside that's going to slide in. And then you got to make sure your bolt is pulled out or your cam pin will hit as it's going in. Seated perfectly. You can mate it to the lower now. There we go. Final. Clear.
Well, I'm out here today to do some shooting with a new AR style rifle, modern sporting rifle made by Brenton USA here in Michigan. And I'll tell you what, this thing is a shooter. This is the Scout 18, so it's an 18-inch barrel. And let's take a look at it. First of all, coming from the factory, you get a nice case and you also get 2 magazines that come with it. So not many manufacturers send a nice case like this. Inside, it's beautiful. It's got lockdowns for the gun. We undo those and take a look at this thing. This is quite an amazing modern sporting rifle. This thing is a shooter. And if you could take all the features that you like about an AR style rifle, that's what they put into this gun. These guys are hunters and they thought of just about everything. Going from the back to the front really quickly, you've got flush mount slings mounts right on the back here. Inside you've got a flat spring, so it's a little bit better spring inside of the buttstock here. You've got an overmolded grip that's nice and comfortable in the winter time. You've got their actual trigger. They make their own trigger so that it's a good, nice adjustable trigger. Very, very crisp. You've got oversized equipment here on the side. You've got a paddle on this side, on that side, your magazine release, you've got your safety on this side that's all oversized so you can use them when you've got gloves on. Here in Michigan, that's a really nice thing. The fore end is rounded, it's very small, easy to grip. I love this fore end. It doesn't have Picatinny rails all over it like a black rifle usually does. This thing is made for hunting. Coming up here to the front, you've got a black nitride coated stainless steel barrel. It is coated inside and out, so this thing is very, very durable. You can't hardly scratch this material. Black nitride is amazing, and they do it inside and outside their barrel. On the front here, you've got a Picatinny rail with a flush mount cup in the front, so that you can hook your sling up to. It's got a Picatinny rail right here that you can mount the tripod on. So this thing is very, very well balanced. Even being an 18-inch barrel, it kind of just sits there. It's just a really nice hunting rifle. And inside this lower, you'll find one of the most unique things about this whole system. Here's an oversized pin. We're gonna pull that. And inside here, you've got a plunger that keeps this whole system, the whole upper, tight. It's got a little V-shaped notch in the upper here, and when you put that back together, you can see that it's got a little bit of give right there until you put that, you lock it in with the pin. That thing does not move. You can wiggle it back and forth, and it is just tight. That's what you'll find with this rifle, is it's made for hunting. This is not a mil-spec gun, so it's very, very tight tolerances. You've got to keep it clean so it runs really well, but when you do, this is one of the best running rifles I've ever had. That's a modern sporting rifle. It just runs and it shoots. So let's take it out to the range, and we're going to start off with something that we always start out with, 2-shot sight in. Well, I'm going to go through the 2-shot sight in again today. I know I've went through it many, many times here on the channel, but it is the simplest, fastest, easiest way to sight in your rifle that there is. A lot of guys ask me, well, why don't you just dial your scope? Not all scopes work like they should. This scope is a Trijicon AccuPoint. I've had really good success with it. I have no problem thinking that this is going to be the actual number of clicks that I put in is going to equate to what I see on target. But no matter what scope you have, I don't even need to look to see what the graduations are on the scope, what the clicks are. I don't care if it's a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch or 1/3 of an inch, doesn't matter. All I do is I take one shot, I put the crosshairs right back on the center, and I dial the turrets right to wherever I hit. And I've got the GoPro running up there to show you exactly what I'm doing in real live time. We'll show you how fast this is. And the nice thing about this is you only use 2 shots and then it's sighted in, and you can fine tune it back at distance. But right now we're at about 50 yards, and this will be good enough to get me on paper pretty well on target back at 100 yards if I do it correctly. You need a solid rest. If you're not shooting out of a solid rest anyways, you've got issues. So I don't know why there's a complaint about having a solid rest. You're gonna have a solid rest anyways. I get that comment quite often, but you should have a solid rest. As long as you have a solid rest, you put it right back on the center and you dial your scope over to where you hit the first time and you'll be right on. So let's take a look at it. I've got 2 shots loaded in. Let's go hot. Okay, now first shot, I'm gonna put it right on the target. There we are. Let's put it right on the bullseye. Okay, so I was pretty darn close on that. I was only about that far low. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this gun right back on the center, and I'm going to move it down to that hole. And it's pretty well centered, so I'm just going to leave the left and right fine. It looks pretty good up there. So now I'm going to take the second shot. Right in the center. You can't deny that. I've got the GoPro running up there. Perfectly right in the center. That is the 2-shot sight in, and you saw how fast it takes. It is simple, it's easy. I don't care if you've got the cheapest scope on the market or the most expensive. Shoot it twice. You won't go through a bunch of ammo, and you'll be ready to shoot on target when you get ready to fine tune it later on. But that is the 2-shot sight in. Very, very easy. Well, I moved back to the 100-yard range, and we're going to be testing all sorts of stuff out here. We've got 180 grain, 165 grain, 150 grain, and also 140 grain bullets here from all different manufacturers. The guys at Brenton recommend 180 grain. They've had really good luck with the Federals, and no doubt 180 grain typically shoots very well out of a 350 Legend. Almost every gun we've ever tested will shoot fantastic with 180 grain, although you can get a little bit better ballistics out of something a little bit smaller. So we're going to be testing a few things today. I'm sure the 180 grain will shoot. It usually does, but we're going to be testing stuff that's a little bit lighter, a little bit faster, and see what this baby will do. It's a little bit windy today, but we should be just fine at 100 yards. It's not too bad, so we'll get going on it. Well, it's not really surprising with a gun of this quality that you're going to find this. If you take a look up here, just about everything ran very well through this gun. The 180 grain Winchester is just a little bit more open. The 165 grain Hornady is very tight. You take a look at the Bear Creek, boy, it is 2 shots in one hole and 1 just off the side. And then the Winchester XP 150 did a very good job as well. But that's just about what you can expect out of a very high quality gun like this. One thing is, these 3-shot groups do not indicate what these ammos really will do. Some will shoot a little bit tighter than others. So by and large, everything is going to run out of this gun. Play around with it yourself, see what shoots well for your gun. But I'll tell you what, this Brenton Scout 18-inch is a shooter. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get it out this hunting season.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to my daddy's channel.